All right, Jesse on Fire, welcome back to the channel. So it's Valentine's Day, and on the way out, it was like, man, I'm going to be out of commission all day today. I don't like it. It was like, here, you want an Andrew Tate, a story about the Loverboy method and his victim completely destroying the prosecution's case? I was like, do I? That sounds pretty Valentine's Day-like. It's like, it's a story of love, a story about a girl who fell in love, and she ran off to Romania, and it turned out the guy wasn't quite as nice as she has hoped. The terms weren't exactly as she had hoped, but she's going to say out loud that she made all her own decisions.
I don't feel like a victim. All the choices I made were of my free will. He didn't, bundle me up in a bag, throw me in the back of a lorry and drive me there.
And she's basically, from there, just going to continue to just destroy the entire prosecution's case. Would you like to do a video about that? I'm like, well, it's not as romantic as my day will be, but yeah, I think I would like to do that. Let's do that story. And that's the story we're about to do. And I'm going to play you guys that statement because it's hilarious. It's not hilarious. It's actually kind of mean. What's the right way to say this? It's not human trafficking. How about that? Let's just say that. It's just not human trafficking. It's just objectively not human trafficking. Objectively, this story, which is one of the girls that they're claiming as a victim, it's just not human trafficking. It's just not what it is. So, at least as I understand it, unless they are completely changing the definitions, people change definitions on things all the time, all the time. This is going to be a tough sell, though, for anyone after you hear this, okay? So before I get into it, if you like the content, go ahead and subscribe and ring the bell. Handshake. I work really hard. All I ask is that people subscribe if they watch my content. That's it. And also, I wanted to tell you guys, so Thrive Fantasy, we did the contest this weekend. It was awesome, went really well. We had 49, I think we filled the whole thing up. We had 50 entries, super fun. Now, Thrive Fantasy is not it's fantasy, but it's like the new loophole fantasy where it's actually prop betting on sports. They've got some incredible prop bets on NBA tonight. So in the link in the description, you could go, you know what? I actually suggest you just download Thrive Fantasy, the app, and then use promo code Jesse when you sign up, and then you'll get a 100% deposit bonus. You could pput it in twice. You do it and you create the account, and then when you deposit money, and you get double your money. You deposit $100, you get $200. Deposit $50, you get $100. And the prop bets are dope, dude. I am going to be playing tonight because I got 5th place in our contest. So give it a look. Thrive Fantasy, download it and rock and roll. You'll love it, dude. It's legal in California. It's legal in Texas. It's legal in tons of states that you cannot do regular sports betting. So anyway, all right. So here's the deal. All right. So I'm going to play a bit of this right now, I guess, kind of throughout. I probably should have done this in a reaction, where I film it over here, but this is more high definition. I'm in a high def mood. Okay. So I'm actually just going to talk about it, and I will put the clips in wherever, right? So bottom line is this. Okay. So what Andrew Tate was doing is, this is going to shock you guys. This is going to really shock you. Andrew Tate was finding girls on Facebook. This is all according to the girl. This is one of the victims. This is someone that they are saying, I was human trafficked victim. So he found her on Facebook, and they fell in love.
He approached me on Facebook originally, completely out of the blue. It didn't ring any bells. But just right off the back, the way he spoke, the way he made me feel, he was very charming, and he made himself seem very familiar. He made me feel very comfortable. There were no red flags at all in the beginning. He just took an interest in my day-to-day life, wanted to know what I was into, what made me happy. It was developing naturally.
Sophie says that he then asked her to join him in Romania. She'd never met him before, but it felt right to Sophie in that moment.
I was at a stage of my life where everything sort of felt a bit boring and a bit dull, and this idea of an adventure and then lifestyle, and this guy seemed so into me, and he's making me smile every day, and the idea just seemed attractive.
According to her, he was very interested in whatever. And by the way, on Valentine's Day, let me give you guys a little bit of advice. If you're still in the game and you're looking to find a girl that would like you and blah, 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 don't talk about yourself, dude. Don't talk about yourself. Ask them questions, okay? That's what girls want. They want to feel like a person cares about their life, all right? Ask them questions, listen to their responses. Imply things. Every girl wants a few things from a guy. They want you to be strong. They want you to they want you to be competent. Okay. Now, the way that they measure competence is generally by career success, but there are other ways to do it also. Strong, competent, and capable of protecting them, and safe. Okay. And they also want you to be interested in them. So you allude to the strength, the competency. You don't go in there. Listen, I've got $10 million in the bank. Okay, a confident person doesn't do that. A confident person alludes to those things without directly saying it. And then you ask them questions about themselves and you listen to the answers. It's literally that simple. Ask questions, listen to the answers, be confident, the end. So he was doing that. And I bring that up because she said, you know, he just seemed generally interested in my life. And I was like, look at him, you know? I mean, it's not shocking that Andrew Tate knows how to close women, obviously. But anyway, so she comes to Romania, right? Like he gets her to come to Romania for a visit. Okay, for a visit.
Everyone's been in love before. Everyone knows the power of that emotion and the things that you do for it. Any kind of rationale or logic kind of leaves your body and you find yourself doing things that maybe you wouldn't normally do. And this is just another one of those situations.
She's here for 5 days. He's gone for like 4 or 5. He's gone for like 4 days.
A couple of days of being with him, he was as I expected him to be. And then I can't remember how long I was there for the first time. I think it was 4 or 5 days. It was quite a long time considering it was the first time we'd met. But he just disappeared in the middle of the night. He was in bed next to me and I heard him get up and I thought he's just gone to the bathroom and he just didn't come back.
That doesn't like ring alarm bells for her somehow. You know, I would imagine like some kind of emergency came up, whatever. But the bottom line is she came there, she visited him, and every step of this process where she is saying, well, Andrew said this and then blah, blah, blah. She says literally in her own words, she says, I made all of my own decisions. It's not like he threw me in a trunk or he says,
he didn't, you know, bundle me up in a bag, throw me in the back of a lorry and drive me there.
Says something like that. She says, I made all of my own decisions. Okay, from there, you can stop the tape. From that statement right there, stop the tape. It's not human trafficking. That is not what human trafficking is. Human trafficking, the trafficked are not making their own decisions. That's the whole point, okay? That's the whole point. Now, if they say they're making their own decisions, but it's happening at the threat of violence, that's different. But that's not what she's saying.
Oh, you should do it. You'd make a fortune, but you don't have to, you know, if you don't want to. It's my business and we can build something together and make all this money and we can buy property and we can invest and we can build this thing together.
Okay? She's saying that he tricked her into falling in love with him. And then she ultimately made all these decisions based on things that he said, right? So like she said, she made all her own decisions. She said that he said, listen, we could do this together. We can make all this money. We could buy all this property together, you know, if you want to do it. Okay. Does that sound like a person who's being victimized? Of course not. Like, I mean, seriously, in her own words, she is blowing this entire narrative up. He says, if you want to. Okay. Now, as a girl finds out that you got a lot more girls doing that. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure a lot of girls would, you know, not be super happy about that, but there is a way to manage that. Obviously, because he was doing it, you know, successfully for a long time. And when she wanted to leave, this is the best part. When she wanted to leave, she left.
After some time, Sophie decided to leave Andrew Tate.
Somebody explain to me, where's the human trafficking? Like, where is it? In that story, one of the victims, where is the human trafficking? Because he was nice to her on Facebook. She came over to Romania, and it basically turned out that he had an ulterior motive, which was to have him be one of many girlfriends and have her do cam work. Like that's human trafficking. That's offering a person an opportunity that maybe they shouldn't take if they don't want to. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, think about this, dude. Think about this. Every single time, right? Every single time that someone gets into a relationship, they get in and the terms change. Almost always, right? Almost always. And you know why? Because the person that you meet at the beginning of a relationship is always the absolute best version of a person. Girls especially in most cases, right? Girls especially in most cases. They're sweet, they're nice, they're yada, yada, yada. That you don't get to see like any of their like deep-seated daddy issues or flaws or whatever. You don't get to see any of that. And then once you're in a relationship and they get a little more relaxed, they start being like, gosh, I told you to turn right. And you're like, okay, but I know the way to go. Well, this way's slower. Why are you yelling at me? You don't do anything right. You literally do nothing right. Okay. And at that point, you're already in love with them and you're stuck, dude. And you're stuck. The terms changed, right? The terms changed. Now, plenty of situations like that with guys, right? Guy brings a girl in, tells her blah, 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 blah. You know, ooh, he's so sweet, he's so sweet. And then once they're in the relationship, he's like, I don't want you eating that. I don't want you getting fat, okay? I don't want you getting fat. I think you look terrible in that dress. And they mentally break them down. Look, this is not something I do. It's not something that Gabrielle does. I am extraordinarily lucky. That's why I'm going to take her to wine country today and serenade the dime piece that I've been married to for 14 and a half years. But you know what? I'm different. She's different. All the girls I dated before switched the deal super fast, dude. Well, that's actually not true. Some of them. I only had 3. Wait, hang on. Let me think. I had 1, 2, 3, 4 real girlfriends in my life before Gabrielle. I was like my girlfriends for even like a short period of time, even for like 5 months. You know what I mean? And yeah, actually, only 2 of them were much different. No, actually, none of them were. I knew what they were. Never mind. I have actually never experienced this. I should have known. Right? Like the same way that this girl is being like, boo, 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 boo. Andrew trafficked me because I'm not really making a very compelling case. Like, I knew exactly what they were, actually. So, no, I just had bad taste. I was attracted to bad girls, man. I was attracted to bad girls, man. I can't help it. I got a dark passenger, and he likes a bad girl, man. He likes a bad girl, except Gabrielle. Gabrielle is a very, very good girl, a really good girl. So good that I had to turn her bad. Just kidding. Anyway, so yeah, this Andrew Tate case seems to just be getting flimsier and flimsier, but who knows? Maybe they'll get him on financial crimes. But as far as human trafficking goes, this pretty much blows up the case. Love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. Thrive Fantasy. Lots of prop bets. Love you.